Welcome to PAX. I'm the Professor, and this is Ask a Jedi. Standing with us is Hall Hood of BioWare. First of all, for the people who may not be very familiar, can you go ahead and tell the people at home, what you do?
Sure. My name is Hall Hood. I'm a senior writer at BioWare Austin, working on Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm the primary writer on the Jedi Knight class. I'm the co-writer of the Smuggler class with the wonderful Jennifer Hepler up in Edmonton. And I wrote the Taro 5 Flashpoint that people are playing this weekend.
Also, he's one of my best mates here. Yeah. Now, the next question here is, because you've done a lot of conventions and whatnot, so what are you showing at PAX East that you've not shown before?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously, the Taro 5 Flashpoint is the big thing that we're bringing to this. And this is the first time that we're really showing off high-level or higher-level player content, right? So players who play the Taro 5 Flashpoint are going to get to go in. They're going to get to play higher-level versions of the Republic classes, and they're going to get to experiment with the advanced classes.
Right.
And so they're going to get a preview of what it's like to play a more advanced smuggler. What's the scoundrel advanced class? What's that like? How does it feel to play that? And also to be able to play a true multiplayer experience. To get together in a group and go and have this amazing experience on this planet.
That I'm looking forward to myself, but actually you led into my next question, which is great, and that is, you mentioned the advanced classes, and that's something we have a couple questions about from both a story and a gameplay perspective, and we understand there are some of this you may not be able to talk about. But one of the things that we've been wondering is some of the classes, we already know what their roles are, or what their, not necessarily roles are, but what their roles can be. We've got the Jedi Guardian. It's apparently there's a DPS class that was just added, and there's a tank class that was just added, and we have the Scoundrel. We know it's got the sawbones, and we've got the stealth aspect, and this other thing, and this goes for several of them. But there are two that have been kind of left in the wind at the moment. We haven't really gotten much info on it, and that was the Marauder and the Sentinel. All we know right now is apparently they do DPS, but what do they do besides DPS?
I'm not qualified to speak on this.
Okay, who do I need to ask that to?
You need to talk to a systems designer. There are some amazingly talented people at BioWare Austin who are making sure that those advanced classes are awesome.
Okay, all right. Now the next is one, and you know that I ride Noscaral, also known as Darth Dural, a bit hard. But there were some really weird omissions when y'all did the Great Hyperspace War. Things didn't happen quite in sequence. And we were wondering, is that because he's lacking information? Is he intentionally omitting things? What's going on there?
Right, so one of the things to keep in mind is that there's sort of this perception of the Star Wars galaxy as, all history is permanently recorded and set down in stone, and nobody ever rewrites it or changes it, or records get lost or anything like that. But when you stop and think about it, I mean, the Star Wars universe, pretty much always at war. What happens in war? Well, the libraries get burned down and things like that, right?
Well,
so
yeah.
Lots of information can go away. So things that may seem to be a continuity error may actually turn out to not be. We may actually have an agenda there.
Okay, so I mean, basically though, you haven't done any sweeping retcons that we know of.
No, that's not what we want to do. Absolutely not.
Okay, that works. And about something that was hotly debated and we couldn't get an answer for. Now this is about Satale. Am I pronouncing your name right? Satele. Okay, I always get that name wrong. I apologize. But Satele, we don't really know a lot about her. We know that she became the Jedi Grandmaster, and we've read about her in the Fatal Alliance novel, and we saw her. It's been confirmed that was her in the Hope trailer, but it was her, then it wasn't her, then it was her again. So the deal is with Satele, what really elevated her? Because what we saw in the Threat of Peace and what we kind of saw from the Hope, well, it said she was kind of impressive. She still really didn't win. What really pushed her over the edge, becoming what elevated her to this counterpoint to the Emperor?
So that is a story that I'm not really allowed to talk about. I can't get into spoiler type territory.
I finally got the BioWare response. I knew it would happen. Okay.
We cannot divulge that information at this time.
Okay, the next one regards Ilum a little bit. Okay. We know that Ilum was taken, and by the Sith at this point, they're holding it.
Well, it's contested.
It's contested. Okay, see, that's important because that the way a lot of it looked like was they took it and the other ones were coming in. But here's my question, and this is just from me being a nerd. As near as I can tell from where Ilum is located, it's not really a strategic location, and unless the Jedi are being choked out of lightsaber crystals, they're not really depriving the Jedi of their lightsaber crystals. And so with that, why are they doing the resources to hold this? What's the gain? Why waste this military force?
Right. So once again, you've asked me a question that I cannot answer.
Yes.
So you're
You're
looking for story spoiler things. So essentially, if we don't release information like that, it might actually be important to what players are going to discover when they actually play the game. We don't want to reveal all that information.
I got you.
So yeah, we kind of withhold information like that.
That's fine. I planned for this eventuality. So
I've fallen into your trap.
Yes.
All right. Excellent.
It's a trap.
You have to do the flipper when you do that, though.
It's a trap. Okay. The other question I had then, what is the one thing you would have liked to talk about, but no one's asked you about yet?
Wow, that's actually an awesome question that I have never given any thought to. Essentially, one of my favorite things that I got to work on in the game, and nobody really asks about it, are the companion characters. I love the companion characters, especially the romanceable ones.
Yeah.
And I think they're just a tremendous amount of fun to write. I think we have some wonderful romanceable companion characters in the game that people are really going to enjoy. One of our goals was to capture, the snappy banter of Luke or Han and Leia.
Right.
When in all of their little conversations, The Empire Strikes Back. It's fun. It's a tremendous amount of fun to write that kind of dialogue, and I'm looking forward to people getting a chance to play that stuff and experience it and have that fun.
So you're saying our character can inadvertently make out with his sister?
Not inadvertently.
Not inadvertently.
Well, no,
he can
it's
make
like
out with his sister.
Well, it's a BioWare trade. I'm not saying that at all. So let's be clear. But yeah, it's a BioWare game, and it's about player choice, right? So the player is always going to choose. If you don't want to romance somebody, you certainly don't have to.
Right.
But if you do, our goal is to make sure that it's a really fun and exciting experience.
Okay, we got one final question for you, and this one you may not be able to answer because it is a really heated topic. But BioWare has always allowed kind of pushing the envelope as far as what relationships were and weren't allowed. You already know what's coming.
Sure.
So, same gender romance arcs, yes or no?
Can't answer it.
Can't answer it. Okay,
Right.
I
So
understand
that's not something we're doing at this time.
I thank you, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.